Hey, it's Microchasm, and we're back with some Sil-Q. We're playing our character Earth again today. So we are at 300 feet, and we have not fully explored it. So let's see what this floor has to offer us. I've been thinking about this character, as I usually do, and I'm feeling like I'm getting to a point in the game where the power level of the monsters is going to be increasing quite a bit. So I started going through this this hallway, saw that these Easterling warriors are coming from the left, and of course these Orc warriors could come from the right. So let's just get out of the hallway and wait for the Easterling warriors to pass. Quite a bit of traffic in this room. I don't think it's going to be a problem, but I just don't want to get caught up in anything. Yeah, let's just get out of the way there. So yeah, we're gonna come across some more difficult monsters in the near future. Maybe some more. I don't like this. Yeah, okay. They're wandering. Let's go to the other side of the room. Okay. Some monsters like wargs. Wargs are a big problem a lot of the time, because they have pretty high perception and they're fast. They do a fair amount of damage. And I mean, they're going to pursue you, you know. There's a sword splitter off to the right. We don't want to fight that thing, but it's not going to pursue us. So it's really not that much to worry about. But yeah, we're getting to a point in the game where, like, throughout the whole game, of course, our character has to scale. So dangerous right now. We're way too far away from stairs. And these Crebain are just hanging out. Okay. Before they come back. Okay, we have to keep hanging out, I guess. I want to close some doors. Okay, let's close that door. We want to try to limit their movement. It's a round shield. I think, yeah, we're carrying a round shield for 4 pounds. I don't want to step into these archers, though. Really, what we need to do is find the down staircase. But yeah, I'm a little worried that we're going to get into a situation where, we've gotten more powerful, but not enough. We've not gained enough power, and we've not gained enough abilities and equipment to handle what the later parts of the game are going to throw at us. Here's a phantom. This is a moment where I really wish I had Song of Delvings. I wonder if I can actually take Song of Delvings. So that would take 3. I could, because I think I can probably just walk past the phantoms. Yeah, because they're not going to pursue us. But one of them was in the corridor, and I don't know. I just didn't want to deal with him. Well, he's very fast. I'm just trying to get to that upstairs. I think we'll still go this way. If he sees us, we'll just use the stair. Let's make sure we go ahead and eat something. Food is a bit more of an issue with Edain because they don't start with lembas bread. But even so, it's not something I'm really worried about. Okay, so that's interesting. This is a Staff of Foes. It'd be nice if Staff of Foes gave us XP for seeing the monsters, but that'd probably be too powerful. Man, yeah, look at this floor. There are just spiders and Crebain everywhere. I don't like these Addercops. Just for a pacifist, because they can web you. They see you, it's going to be hard to escape them. They can web you, and then they can surround you, and then maybe these Hummer horns will confuse you, and then it's all over. Adder crops are new in Sil-Q 1.5. I think they're actually a kind of cool idea for a monster. Because they're not too strong, but you know, you have to, they can be strong in certain situations, or if you don't take them seriously, or in combination with other monsters, that sort of thing. So they makes them interesting. So I don't like this floor too much, but you know, I was kind of saying before, like you can't, it's never going to be perfect, right? I mean, this is the floor we're on. We have to deal with it to some extent, because if we just stare scum until everything is perfect, then we're going to get punished and have the stairs collapse. And that's even worse. I'm very glad I have keen senses at this point. Just trying to map out this room. I might take delvings. Because I'm feeling very, like, vulnerable here. What is my stealth at? Because I had wanted to take a little bit more stealth. I think I will take delvings. And then we'll take stealth immediately after. Delvings is not going to be that strong is the other thing. Because we don't have that much song. But let's sing it a bit. Okay, we've explored too much of the floor for it to really matter. You know, of course, one thing to remember about delvings is any song other than Song of Silence is going to increase the amount of noise you make. So you got to be careful about singing it around where monsters are. Oh, I guess we're going back down. Blocking the way there. Let's just sing a bit. Sometimes I like to sing it just to get a feeling for the extent of the room that I'm in. We do have we have a Staff of Light, which kind of serves the same purpose actually, of giving you a feeling for a room. I mean, it shows what's in the room by lighting it up, but it also just sort of shows you the space that you're in. And in that way, it kind of overlaps. But really, I think what we're going to drop is we have a lot of Malorn torches of different turn counts. We do have the Malorn Torch of True Sight, which is good to remember. We have a source of True Sight. Looking at our equipment, I'm just trying to see really quick, do we want to wear anything different? Really what we want to do is identify some of these staves and potions. That would be really nice. Oh, we do want to pick up this ring. Ring of Evasion, that's excellent. +1 evasion is going to help us a lot. You know, we're always sort of like scrapping for XP to put another point into evasion. Getting even that, did a little dance with that orc there. Getting even that +1 is really helpful. Some monsters here, but we're gonna be okay. There's what is he? Yeah, bulk meg. We're just gonna sort of stay away. Long corridor. I don't like the idea of a long corridor. Sleeping wolves. I don't think we're gonna wake them, but let's stop singing and we'll kind of go off here. Sing again off in the corner. Just get a bit of a better idea. All right, let's use this dagger. And it did not identify. So we'll go back to the Dagger of Murder. There is an adder cop right here. So we're going to not go that direction. That's too dangerous. And yeah, we're just gonna keep, we're really just looking, here's a lug. Really just looking for consumables. We're at 300 feet and our minimum depth is 250, so we're going kind of slow in a way, at least for me. But yeah, I don't have a huge amount of faith in the character, and the reason is, although the character's been going fine, like I think this character's is fine. When I did test characters, which I did a few test characters, just so that I could learn a couple little lessons and do a good job on camera. And the test characters died by things like collapsing stairs. Mostly mistakes on my part. But the thing is, like, you can kind of, the level of mistake that will get you killed is very small. That's the thing. Like, you're not going to just die, I don't think. I don't remember ever just dying and having there be nothing I could have done. We hit something a couple times. That's not what I want to do. But it's like, you can make kind of the smallest mistake. And I think we've seen that so far, actually. Like, sometimes I'll just press one key too many. Like, even here, like, dancing a little bit brazenly, but I just wanted to go downstairs, so. Yeah, we're kind of running out of light sources a bit, unfortunately. Which is a little bit worrying because we don't have a lantern yet. We only have one torch left. I kind of wasn't thinking about the fact that those phantoms, I think they were making our torch sputter a bit. All right, well, we have enough experience to get another point of stealth, so let's do that. Let's go pick up this staff. And let's try to find a lantern. Here's an area that has, okay, got blinded. Let's wait that out. Okay. Wait, that's funny. I wonder if it was just a numlock issue. Last time I was trying to say that backspace in a direction would act the same way as control, and it wasn't working. But yeah, it does work. I knew it would work. I don't know. Yeah, it must have been a numlock issue. Or, yeah. Okay, let's see if there's anything in here. Definitely careful because... yeah, Whispering Shadow. Don't want it to have anything to do with Whispering Shadows. As you've seen in other videos, they can multiply. I don't quite know their mechanics. But as far as I can tell, they don't multiply if they can't see you. Because when I'm playing as a pacifist, I never see them multiply. That's very sort of scary there with that warg. We're going to go up here because we know that there's a staircase. And yeah, that shadow there, that phantom, was probably continuing to remove some of our light. So it's more and more imperative that we find a light source. It's so rare that light sources matter. But this character, I guess, has been going a little bit slowly. Again, we're getting a little bit far away from the stair. Sink delvings. Okay. Okay, there's a lot of light in this area. That's nice. Potion of blindness, we don't want that. Oh, okay, interesting. We fell into a pit. Let's take a little bit more evasion. So now we have 7 evasion, which actually means that since we have the evasion affinity, we can take sprinting. Yeah, excellent. So again, our power level just increased a bit. And our power level will increase again just slightly here, because we're going to go down this down shaft. And you can see we have 10 experience. Now we have a 960,000 because we saw some monsters. And we'll just go back up. Now we have 1,000 experience to work with. We can't take Vanish yet. We don't want anything else. I think I was considering taking blocking. I think I will take blocking at some point, because even though I normally wouldn't take it on a pacifist character, because we have the evasion affinity, I feel like we almost might as well take another ability from the evasion tree. So we got a flask of oil. That's something. You know, well, it occurs to me that we went down to 500 feet with that that shaft, and so there was a guaranteed forge which spawned, and then we didn't use it. But that's okay. I don't think we had the experience to use it anyway. Let's use the Staff of Light, just to see where we're at. One of them is on a ring. Yeah, but I don't think we're going to be able to get him off the ring. He's sleeping. There's rubble. Do we have a shovel? Yeah. But right, we have 0 experience. So, or sorry, 0 strength. Yeah. One thing I was thinking about, that was bad movement. That's okay. Was so we're playing as a Dine of Bayor, and I said that I'd won as an Adine of Haleth before. Just trying to think about what to do here. Okay, he went down the shaft. Are they going to go down? The one thing they might do is go up here and open the door for me. Or they might just sort of stand there. I don't want to do too much stair scumming on a shaft, because I think it might... Yeah, he opened the door for me. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, I didn't want to get dropped down too far. But yeah, I mentioned that I won a pacifist of Haleth, but I have not won Bayor yet. And so I was thinking, let me see if anyone else has won a pacifist of Bayor. And apparently it's a pretty unusual character to play, at least as far as the Sil-Q ladder goes. It's of course always impossible to tell, right? I mean, plenty of people play these play games on their own, and they never upload to the ladder. So I'm sure that there are many Bayor wins just out there in the world. But as far as the Sil-Q ladder goes, there's only one, and it's a combat character. That was a Staff of Majesty. That also sort of improves our power level a bit and our survivability. Just use the light here. We'll drop that light staff. We'll pick up this staff. Slowness, rune staff. So there's a lot of staffs. Okay, we want to pick these up. And we don't need this. We're not using the leather armor. Got a lot of special weapons. I feel like one of our staffs is gonna be identity. Let's drop imprisonment. Let's pick up rune staff. Let's use the birch staff. It was identity. Now, what is the most important thing to identify? Yeah, one thing you can do that's good to know about is if you use the Staff of Identify, sorry, it's really called the Staff of Understanding. I think I'm kind of thinking of it like a scroll of identity from other games, but it's called a Staff of Understanding. If you use it, you can cancel it and it doesn't use a charge. So we can think about like, what objects do we know? So we have not seen quickness. I didn't think so. So that's important. we might want to identify the potion. We might also want to identify the short sword, because I kind of want to use that short sword if it's good, because it has the +2 to evasion. You know what I might do? Yeah, now is the time to take channeling, because channeling is so cheap. 2 points in will. We'll take channeling, and now we'll know what all of our staves do. I should have done this earlier, actually. I was thinking so much about alchemy that I kind of forgot about channeling. So now we know that we have slumber, which is excellent, and our Staff of Understanding has 6 charges. So channeling identifies all your staves and horns, but it also doubles the number of charges on your staves. So now we can identify a bunch of different stuff. That's going to be really helpful. Let's just make sure we're not leaving anything useful on the ground there. Okay, so let's identify some things. We'll do the short sword. Defender. I thought we wielded that short sword. We must have never wielded it. We should have tried to put it on, because Defender identifies on its own. So that was kind of a waste of a charge. That's okay. So currently we have the Dagger of Murder +1 stealth. I think what we're going to do is we'll swap out for the Defender if we're in a situation where we have the time to do that. Although the quarterstaff is also, oh no, but the short sword we can use with the shield. Yeah, so that's going to be really good. Let's identify the potion. Although it's a potion we've tried, so it's definitely not quickness, because quickness would always identify. Let's do it anyway. It is quickness. Interesting. But it said we had tried it before. I'll have to look into that. Oh man, okay, I wonder if I'll bet we took an herb of terror. It made us afraid and fast, and then we quaffed quickness, and since we were already fast, it didn't make us fast. I don't think I've ever done that before, at least not with not done it and noticed that I did it. Well, that's silly, but we learned something. It's kind of interesting. Herb of Emptiness just makes you hungry. We don't need that. And is there anything else we need to identify? Let's just go ahead and identify the quarterstaff. Oh, I dropped it. That's not what I meant to do. Use... It is Mithrim. I wonder, I guess maybe in order to identify Mithrim, we might have to carry it long enough for it to increase our hunger. But I would think that the regen would have done it. Maybe that depends on your perception. Little things like this. Not quite sure. I'm gonna drop it. And honestly, I'm gonna drop these daggers. These daggers are almost certainly poison or something along those lines, and they're not going to help us that much. So the only thing I'd be getting from identifying them is that 50 experience, and having the extra charge on the Staff of Understanding is more important to me. So I'm just going to keep that charge. Okay, so we've got another staircase. So this side of the level is a little bit nicer. Bunch of orcs. They're not asleep, so let's go the other way. Orcish Liquor we always want. But the healing properties. True Sight we might as well pick up. Let's do a little bit of singing. And yeah, we're still really hoping for some kind of light source. This cloak is actually lighter than our current one, So let's drop our current one, and then we currently have 6 pounds of armor, which doesn't really change anything, but maybe it will in the future. Okay. I'm not 100% sure what to do about this light source issue. There's not a whole lot, like, we don't have a lot of control over it because, I mean, the control that we have is that we stood near those phantoms. Because I wasn't thinking about the fact that they were going to lessen our light sources. We should have run away from them right away. I suppose we'll use understanding on the blue potion. Constitution, okay, that's good to have. Now we do have one small advantage, which is that we have keen senses. So I believe we'll be able to see a little bit further than we normally would anyway. Although maybe we should test that before we assume it. The other option that we have, let's just check out this shield. It's lighter. So let's use, wait, it's 1d3, the other one is 1d4. It's 3.5 pounds, the other one's 4.5. We would end up with 1 pound less, which would be 5 pounds, which wouldn't make any difference. Let's just carry it for now. We might end up wanting it later. I want that bread, but not so much that I am willing to die for it. So let's just leave it. Now, as I was saying, we do have another option that will prevent us from actually dying because of our low light level. And that is we could take listen. So 8 points of perception, which is a lot of investment. Only 1,000 points though for the actual skill. When I played turn count speedruns, as you saw if you watched the coffee break episode, I'll often go down to the throne room with just a torch. And like the only way you can really see anything is a combination of Listen and Song of Delvings. So Delvings lets you see the dungeon. Listen lets you see the monsters. So could we take... Probably not. Yeah, we can't even take 8 points of perception. We would need a little bit more experience. We're so running low on the torch fuel. What we're going to do is actually remove the torch while we're in an area that has light, just so we don't waste it. That's a pretty desperate thing to do. Normally I wouldn't bother. But like right now we have to... Those monsters definitely could have sort of bunched up into us, but they didn't. Yeah, they're just running around everywhere. Okay. Now we can do that thing that I was showing earlier, or I was talking about, I wasn't showing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're running. We're in stealth mode. We have +5 stealth. But we're also moving at normal speed. So we didn't see that enemy. Yeah, we're gonna go up. We might need to do a little bit of scummy stuff. So I was talking in one episode about this idea that I feel like maybe didn't come across, or it didn't really make any sense, about seeing rooms and how you kind of want to like see as many rooms as you can. And that's kind of like, well, how can you really affect that? What does that even really mean? Well, when I'm doing turn count speedruns of not the 50,000 XP challenge, but just regular turn count speedruns, one thing I'll often do is go up a stair and then just look around a bit. Like check out the nearest rooms, not go down any hallways or anything, just check the nearest rooms, then go down, check the nearest rooms, go up, go down, and then if the downstairs showed another downstairs, I would go through there. But I would just be like checking the rooms that are the absolute safest, closest to the stairs, and just trying to like see as many rooms per turn as possible, basically. I feel like we might need to do that, strangely enough, because of the fact that we have no light. Another thing we can do, oh, well, there we go. Lesser jewel. Okay, so we're saved. I was gonna say another thing we can do is go down, just dive a bit. Once we dive a bit, we'll get some extra experience, and it should give us enough to take listen. But thankfully, we don't have to do that. We do have to be careful. We're actually going to use this Malern torch. Yeah. We're going to remove it now. And we're going to pick up a lesser. Oh, we don't want to drop it. Just wanted to... Oh, it overflowed my inventory. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to pick up this lesser jewel. Lesser jewels basically are like torches in that they provide one light level. Let's take a look at it. An enchanted glowing jewel, akin to a Silmaril, but much less powerful. You can equip it as a light source with a radius of 1 square. It will shine forever. So that's that last part. That's what we're looking for. We never have to worry about completely running out of light for the rest of the game, because we have a perpetual light source. Now it's only a light source of 1, but we're going to be happy with what we have, because we just went from like semi-panic mode to feeling okay. Now there's a Staff of Majesty here. I would like to get it. We have several Staffs of Majesty already, but Majesty is so helpful. I might actually take a couple extra points of will. I think what I'm going to do is, let's see if there's anything we want. We talked about taking blocking. Talked about taking vanish. But blocking and vanish are both related to normalizing situations. Talked about taking alchemy, but at this point we've identified so many things, and we've already taken channeling. We might actually skip alchemy. It might be nice to have inner light, but that's maybe a bit of a like a nice to have, but not a must have. I'm not sure. We can take some of the oaths. So since we're not going to attack, I think it's you don't attack fleeing enemies is one of them. And we're not going to attack any enemies, obviously. And I'm trying to remember, oh, there's Oath of Iron, which we can't take anymore. I don't remember what the last one is. Unfortunately, you can't just look at it right now. But it has to do with combat, and of course, we can take combat oaths. Because, I mean, they're against certain types of combat. We could take Song of Silence. That would make it harder for opponents to hear us. One thing about Silence is that it's a prereq for Lorien, or Song of Delvings is as well, though. Yeah. I think what we want to do is increase our stealth by 2. Now I feel like our stealth is at a point where we can start looking at other things that increase other, like our ability to normalize instead of our stealth, in other words, our ability to not be seen in the first place. So we're just keeping both of those in sight. I stepped down. I should not have stepped down. We're going to use our short sword, and we're going to run. How much damage can he do? 27, yeah. So the question is really, do I run straight or do I run down? There's other archers up here, but there's spiders. One thing I might do is, I wonder if I can make him unwary. No. I'm not sure about how, like, good slumber is at this point. Because normally I don't use it that much until later in the game. I think I might use Majesty. Spider cowers, but he's still confident. I just want to, like, drop. Let's use Majesty. Use it again. He cowers. Okay. Let's drop the 5 charge one. Let's pick up this 12 charge one. Oh, he's back. Yeah, we'll go down. 500 feet. What's our minimum depth? 350. Episode's at 36 minutes, so it's not too long yet. We still got a ways to go. Just trying to think, like, what is our pace? Let's let him pass, and let's think about this potion. Do we want to identify this potion by quaffing it? I think we probably do. We've already identified quickness, constitution. It could be Miravor. And Miravor is quite good. But we only have 1 charge left on understanding. We also don't have anything left to identify. Let's put on our Dagger of Murder again. Let's take a quick look at our armor. We've been wearing the same armor for a long time. But I don't think we have any better options. Although actually maybe I wonder if maybe we should put on this leather armor in the round shield and then remove the cloak. That'd be 9.5 pounds of armor. So it would be under the 10-pound limit, and it would give us 2 to 7 armor. But it would decrease our evasion slightly. Let's try it. So let's see what that looks like. Yeah, 2 to 7 plus 12. What was it before? Yeah, plus 13. I think that's worth it for the extra armor. And then we could, like, if we get into a bad situation, we can put on Defender. That'll give us 14, 2 to 7. It does cost a turn, though. So that's kind of like this question. Am I willing to just leave Defender on? I actually think I might be. Because giving us that +2 to evasion, and like it's quite common that you're going to have a situation where you don't even have a single turn to deal with, you know, I mean, the worse the situation, the less time you have in a way. We've identified a lot of potions, which it makes it more likely that it's Miravor. So let's just go ahead and use the understanding, and hopefully it's not like something silly. Oh, it's dexterity. Dexterity is quite good. So I'm not disappointed. I am going to drop... I'll just drop the round shield. We don't need to be carrying 2 of them. And we'll keep everything else for now. We're even going to keep the flask of oil, because even though we have an internal light source, lanterns provide more light. So we prefer to switch to a lantern with the jewel being a backup. Oh, you know, we put on an amulet. I should have identified the amulet, maybe. That's okay. It's Dragon Tooth. This one's Dragon Tooth, yeah. We'll pick up the Staff of Sanctity. I was thinking about the Staff of Understanding, or I was going to say. I'm going to keep it on me for now. Oh, we got seen by some orcs. We can close the door, but orcs can bash through doors. Thankfully, we have sprinting. We'll stay on 450 for now. So, yeah, I was saying we're going to keep understanding. It doesn't have any charges, but there's a small chance that we'll find a staff of recharging. And I mean, staffs of recharging are very rare. I would say they're pretty precious. You know, staves are very strong. They're going to be strong for us, especially. It seems like something is sort of blocking the light here. So it makes that area difficult to really know what to do with because I unsee monsters. It might be Whispering Shadows. I'm going to leave. So the question is, like, what's worth using understanding on? Or sorry, using recharging on. And I think understanding is worth it. But we have 2 sanctity. Because you really, again, you have to know what all of your tools do if you're going to escape. Oh, let's use this dagger. Okay, so now we have Quivianet. That's So at this point, we're going to drop Murder. Because we have Defender for defense, and then we have Quivianen, which it doesn't improve our song much. Only by +1. This is not an especially good dagger of Quivianen, but it lights the dungeon around us, and having 1 extra light level plus the infinite light of the gem, the jewel, is really nice. So now we have 2 permanent light level. And I feel a lot better about how safe we are in certain situations. Earlier I was talking about how there's no pacifists of Beor. And yeah, I feel like I'm really like goal-oriented in games. Especially roguelikes, which are the vast majority of games that I play. So I really like having like a goal to work towards. So I really like the idea, now that I've learned that there aren't any on the ladder, of being the first person to put up a pacifist of Beor. So let's try to win this one, if you don't mind. And then we can have the distinction of the first Beor character that's a pacifist. I mean, to be clear, I didn't check the original Sil ladder. I'll bet there's probably pacifists of Beor on the original Sil ladder, but not on Sil-Q. The other thing, this is a Soul Rauko. They move kind of sporadically, and I don't want them to see me. They're not that strong, but still. The other thing I noticed was that there are no stealth pacifists of Hador, which makes sense because Hador is a combat house. So I was thinking I'd like to do that. I probably won't do it on camera, but I like the idea of winning a stealth pacifist of Hador. Because, you know, in the beginning of this series, I was saying that I want a challenge. And that seems like the biggest stealth challenge you can have. Like a combat character, a pacifist, and Inadine as well. So I think I'm going to do that off camera and see if I can get it done. Now I'm sort of pausing here and just sort of taking my hands off the keyboard and just thinking. A bunch of people just came up the stairs, right? Easterling warriors. Uldor the Accursed. Now I have two options basically. The most obvious one is going to the left. It's probably the smart thing to do. But it does two things that I don't like. And those are, it moves me away from the staircase and it makes me start going towards the unknown. And both of those are dangerous because if Uldor and his buddies, his retinue, start going left, and some other group of monsters comes from the left, we can get trapped. So the other option I have is I could go right one square, then exchange places with Uldor, and then go down. Potentially that means I'm going to get hit on all sides from multiple different monsters. Now, I use the word monsters in like as general word to mean the things that are evil in the dungeon. Obviously, these are humans. We could probably add to our evasion. We could add 2 to our evasion, but there are other things that I wanted, as I was saying earlier. We could even give ourselves dexterity. That would be nice because that's +1 to your stealth and to your evasion at the same time. But we also wanted a little bit more will to make our staves actually useful. We really want to get listen. And Song of Silence would be nice. Yeah, well, that's the life of a pacifist. So what do we do here? We could use a staff. Try to put them to sleep. We could take a bunch of will. How much will could we take? We could take 6 points of will and then try to put them to sleep. That would probably work. But it would mean that we're spending all our points, all of our excess points of XP into will. Might be worth it though, because we have, like, we're at a point where we have 2 staffs of majesty and a staff of slumber. Which is quite a bit, which means this is really going to be one of our escape mechanisms. I think slumber is good here because they're not aware of me. So they're more likely to be put to sleep. If they are aware of you, they might go to sleep or they might become unaware. But if they're unaware, then they're going to go to sleep more easily. And I feel like if I did Majesty, then some might run, some might not run. I kind of feel like, though, I might be complicating things. And potentially just running left is the best answer. It's the simplest answer. And most likely if we find something in the unknown, we can use one of our tools to handle it. So I think we're going to do that. We're going to shut the door. We're going to keep going left. So they didn't go left. We're going to sing. Okay. Goblin boss, yeah. It's good to think about things. But we probably overthought it. These guys are going to have items behind them. Staff of Freedom is pretty good. Potion of Quickness. But there's not really any way for us to get that stuff. We can't make them run away. Let's see. Yeah, it's undead. I don't see where it says like they can't be, oh, cannot be frightened, confused, or put to sleep. There it is. Yep. So I think we're just gonna let that stuff go, even though it's very juicy. I don't think we have any options. We could take a potion of quickness and a potion of dexterity and just try to exchange places our way through. They can reduce grace. It's not that big of a deal. Well, the episode's at 50 minutes, so I think there's a lot for me to think about, basically. Like, do I attempt some silly shenanigans with these whites here? These barrow whites? Do I ignore them? Do I go down the stairs? And no matter what I do, how do I use this experience? So I'll be thinking about that until next episode. But we got to 500 feet, which I feel like is pretty good. Not bad at all for a pacifist. I wasn't sure if these were going to play slowly or play quickly. It seems to be about the same. Maybe even slightly quick. Because we're probably going to go down again soon. Okay, well, I'm very happy to still be alive for sure. I really appreciate you watching the episode as always. And I'll see you next time.